Okay, guys, welcome to another part of the creating your Atlassian account and setting it up. In the last part, we were able to set up an account and get to the setup menu that required us to create a Jira project for the uh, Jira software. So all I did was log out and log back in. So if you ever wanted to do the same, you can always do that to get to where I'm at right now. When you're at this screen, how you know what you have or what you have in your bucket is right here. As you can see, it shows tech albums, and that's what we signed up for. So we have these three applications in our Jira Cloud bucket. If we had signed up for any of these other ones, it would have tech albums under. So let's go ahead and create a Jira um, project today. So let's go ahead and click Jira software. And um, here we have no projects. As you can see, you don't have any projects. Um, so we can either create a project here or create a project from here. For all intents and purposes, because here is where you would most likely create more projects moving forward. Let's go ahead and click create project from here. Okay, so we have three types of projects. Jira kind of makes it a little bit easy when it comes to creating projects. We have the Kanban, the Scrum, and bug tracking. A quick explanation for what these three are, and they do a good job by giving a quick explanation for them as well, so you can always read that. Kanban is a visual representation for every piece in the project or the um, the effort. And Scrum basically is agile sprint. It's typically smaller than a Kanban. A Kanban shows everything with pictures, images. If you ever seen a board flow that has labels like to do, in progress, and done, that would be a typical Kanban. And Scrum would be a typical Scrum process, Scrum meetings, 2 week Scrum, sprints, things like that. And bug tracking would basically be your bugs. So for this, we will be creating Kanban for the project. And then we can get confusing a little bit. You just have to figure out what you or your organization needs to be able to decide what you need. But I usually recommend personally, from experience, to create a Kanban, and then you can create sprints inside a project. Yes, you can. You can do that. I've come to find out that you can create those other project types inside of the Kanban project. It's not easy to do it the other way around. So um, let's go ahead and use this template. And basically what this template is saying is the workflow would look like this: to do. Oh, I just mentioned that. Look at that. To do, in progress, done. And the issue types we would have available is epic, story, bug, task, subtasks. And we can always create other issue types, and we can always modify our workflow, and we would look at that in other parts moving forward. But for now, please go ahead and read up on some of these if you want to get some more information. Again, I mentioned this earlier in an earlier part of the videos. Jira does a good job with their documentation, so you may want to look at that if you want to get some more clarity or information on this. Okay, let's go ahead and use this template so we can move forward. Okay, so what do we have here? This is just a simple question on whether this is a team managed project or company managed project. Uh, this is the difference, and it has two layers of differences. To be honest, the major difference would be um, the permissions. This is really good to know what your company's requirements are, especially when it comes to company policies and other forms of auditing that your company may have to go through. Now, if you're doing this for a smaller company or a team, and it's something that wouldn't really affect the company as a whole, you can go for team managed. Other than that, it's usually safe to go for company managed, and that can follow the company policies and be maintained by your Jira admins or DevOps uh, engineers or providers at the company. So for this project, we'll go ahead and pretend like we're doing this for a company, and we'll do the select company manage project. Okay, here we'll have the name of the project, whatever you want to name that project. We can name this tech albums. Got a typo there. Tech albums first project. Uh, we could do that. As you can see, it suggests a key. This key is like think about it like as a specific unique identifier for it in the database. So all projects have their keys, the short forms for the project. We can name this Tech Album's first project, depending on what we want to do with it. Question is, do we want to do that, or do we want to, where do we want to go with this project? Mm, let's leave it at that, and we can always modify it if we need to. And we are clicking on connect repositories, documents, and more, because also I would like to show you all how to connect your other resources to Jira. We can connect the repositories and even service management, but not service management is Jira, just different. And we can also connect Confluence, and these are all going to talk to themselves when the team is in full uh, production mode. So we'll leave it as it is, and let's go ahead and go to next. Okay. Um, I am not sure what Ops Genie is. It's probably AI. Okay. So I am going to click off of that and figure out what that is later. Oh, okay. Looks like I don't have that option. Oh, I can skip that. I can definitely skip it. There we go. Okay, our project is creating, and we should be able to see our backlogs. There we go. So yeah, I recommend going through this as a quick start. I'll probably just leave that to go over later. Um, and if you're new to Jira, this might be able to help you to get around. Um, if you are used to Jira in Server, this is a little bit different, so you might want to look over this. It's basically the same concept, just a different environment and newer features, because some of the features in um, the server version deprecated, so you might want to get a fresher on this one. I will do that myself. Let's go ahead and look around, but we have created our first project. So if you were following along, give yourself a very big pat on the back because you have successfully created your first Jira project. And if it's not your first, well, still do it either ways. Congratulations. So this is what it looks like in your project. And you can see the issues here. You can see that we have a backlog. So the typical agile, Every new issue should go into the backlog until it's moved into development. And then we have selected for development, in progress, and done. And later, whenever we start to modify the workflow, from the Jira admin's perspective, that would be maybe your DevOps engineer's role or release engineer's role, depending on how your company uses the resource. We'll see how to modify the workflow. I mean, QA as well would be affected with that as well. So that's something that may interest the QA roles. Here we see issues that are related to the project. This will show the issues, open issues, and other associated. And we have the components, the Kanban board that we just saw. And there's the roadmap. The code will go here, and I believe this is the repo. So Atlassian is moving more towards a big bucket on the cloud. So it's kind of easy to connect it. You can also connect it to GitLab and GitHub and the other one. They're more flexible right now since they're in the cloud. And here we have releases. So here you can see there's some differences there. It's more closely look into Azure DevOps. So and then we have project pages. So looks like you can add a shortcut here. I didn't know that. And then we have project settings, and that's where we do all the modifications, the permissions. We do all the automations for the workflows and add whatever needs to be added to make the workflow better. Okay, y'all, that is it for this part. We'll pick up on the next part, and maybe we will create an issue and get this project started.